Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming at you with a quick updated deck profile, and today I'll be showing you guys my chain burn. So I decided to take this to the Sneak Peek tournament over in Top Deck Games yesterday. Actually, I have to give a big shout out to one of my viewers named I Love Yu-Gi-Oh! He gave me a lot of good tips and pointers about chain burn, and seems to be about as enthusiastic, if not more so, about the deck than I am. And I followed his advice, took it to heart, and I think it really helped out the consistency of the build. Desires, as I mentioned in the previous video, was a bit clunky with Demise, and it's kind of one of those deals where you either go all out with that turbo build, or you just kind of go for a more old school chain burn build, which I decided to do. Also, just figured really quickly, we would take in the gorgeousness of this two-player link mat, along with the Dark Side of Dimensions deck box that I got at Top Deck Games for $6. Really nice deal there. Really like it. And then also the divider as well looks really nice. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get right into the deck profile, and I'll try to keep this short since, I profiled this deck a million times. As far as how I did, I ended up just missing out on the top 4 cut. As I said, I was pretty impressed with how the deck performed, and my 2 losses, it really just came down to one was against Zoo True Draco, where I did win game 1 in the most savage way, where he actually used the Masterpiece effect to pop my Secret Blast when he had 600 life points, which was awesome. He was so salty about it. In games 2 and 3, the deck performed pretty well, but I just think that, the way the game progressed and, his skill level ultimately won out those 2 games. It was a really close match. Then the other match I lost was to a Zefra Yang Zing Dinosaur build, which was a really awesome build, really unique. I hadn't really seen it before, and it was a really bad matchup for my deck because it was consistently able to search out, 2 negations every turn through Zefra, there's Divine Strike, and 9 Pillars of the Yang Zings, and I just could not get going at all against that deck. But without further ado and any more rambling, we'll go ahead and get right into it. So we actually did play some monsters for this build. We played a 2 Backjack. This actually performed pretty well. Did help me in stacking the cards that I wanted, and also getting trap cards from the top of my deck onto the field when I needed something to either protect myself or burn a little bit more for game. Then the 1 Maxi, didn't really pull it off much, but it's too good not to play, especially when it's only at 1, and it does combo off well with Chain Burn because it helps build your chains. For spells, you of course have the 2 Chain Strike, the free card Demise, the free Pod Duality, and then instead of the Pod Desires, we did play the 1 Day of Peace. Really strong card overall. For traps, we have the triple Accumulated Fortune. Consider cutting this down to 2, but it's a card that I'm actually able to pull off very often and is rarely ever dead, especially with this particular build. It's more focused on building up chains. Next are the Free Chest Desserts. This card actually becomes better with Link format because with the extra Monster Zone, this card has the potential to burn for up to 3,000 or even 3,500 damage if the opponent uses their extra Link summon and fills up the board. So Chest Desserts actually becomes better in Link format. Then we have the Free Reckless Greed. Decided to put this in with some of the space that I saved from cutting the Pod Desires and the Battle Traps, and it worked out pretty well. The free Secret Barrel, and then, as I mentioned, the Savage free Secret Blast that won me a game off of its destruction effect. Free Threatening Roar and free Waboku because, especially in this kind of build, you want to buy yourself as much time as possible to be able to gain advantage and slowly chip away your opponent's life points. 2 Balance of Judgment, cut this down to 2. I think that was the right call. Didn't clog with it too much, and when I had it most of the times, it was live, and I was able to pull off at least like 3, 4, 5 draws off of it, which was really nice. Probably a mistake in the deck building process was keeping it in 2 Fairy Wind. This probably should have been Ceasefire. As I mentioned with Chest Desserts, I think Ceasefire also gets better with Link format because there's actually more space for the opponent to fill with monsters. And Fairy Wind wasn't the best, honestly. It's something that I should have just moved to the side in place of Ceasefire. Then we had the 2 Ojama Trio. It's an okay card now, I think especially in the early days of Link format, but as we progress into this new mechanic and there's more archetypes that can abuse the Link mechanic, this card may not be the best, especially when we get more generic link monsters like Fireball Dragon that can use tokens to make. But it's still a good card in Chainburn, probably one I'd still play even deep in the link format because of how it fills your opponent's board with tokens and builds up damage for Chest Desserts and Secret Barrel and Secret Blast. And then finally, of course, the one Reign of Destruction. So that is a 40-card main deck. For the side, we have the 2 Matan the Time Lord. Best Time Lord to play in the side for Chainburn, in my opinion, because it helps you get over problematic monsters like Denko Sekka, Jinzo, Cyber Dragon Infinity, things like that. The 2 Dark Hole, 2 MST for Royal Decree, the 2 Twin Twisters as well for Royal Decree, and then the 1 Raigeki. Of course, Dark Hole and Raigeki are here to get over problematic boards, going second. And something that the person I mentioned before, I Love Yu-Gi-Oh! Mentioned about Chainburn is that it's probably not the best to side deck or anywhere really play counter traps, and I do agree with him, but I really don't know what is a solid just out or answer to things like Denko Sekka or Jinzo when you're going first. The only thing I can think of is just kind of shotgunning all your back row on the standby phase, but I don't really want to do that, so that is why I decided to still keep the Chaos Trapple in there. And then the 2-Dimension Wall, side this in against True Draco Zoo with Masterpiece. Didn't go off though because he was able to pop it, but you know, still a good card. And the 1 Solemn Warning. And then of course the extra deck was just kind of a bunch of bluff cards. Decided to play one of each of the starter deck Link monsters because why not? And then, you know, some more filler fusions because why not? I think these are all pretty much the same as the last deck profile, but it's still cool to be able to show these because most of these are cards that I've used in you know, other decks that I profiled on the channel, and they're all cards that hold some kind of special place in my heart, you know, my card game heart. So that's why they are in here. So that is it for this updated deck profile, my Chainburn deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and please stay tuned for some more deck profiles coming soon, more videos coming soon. I actually have, like, I think 3 other recorded videos that'll be coming out within the next few days. And also, by the end of the week, I will have a opening for the Code of Duelist set when it releases in my store on Thursday. And hopefully, by that point, I'll have most to all of what I need for Trickstars. Excuse me, and I'll be able to profile that deck. It's one I've been looking forward to playing for a very long time. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.